DreAllDay.com. DreAllDay.com. Today's daily motivation is about killing the dead time. It's something I've been thinking about a lot as I've been really looking to increase, just for myself personally and business-wise, efficiency and effectiveness, meaning getting more important stuff done and getting it done within a more efficient time frame, meaning getting more important things done in less time. And this is something that the more that I read into it and the more I look at stuff and the more I think about things that I've seen, read, and heard from people who are noted for being highly effective and really great and productive at what they do, I'm noticing this common similarity between these people is that they kill the dead time. So let me explain what I mean by dead time. Dead time is the time in between activities. So if you got 3 important things that you're doing today, one at 8 o'clock, one at 2 o'clock, one at 4 o'clock, the dead time is the time in between finishing one thing and before you get to the next thing. What are you doing with that time right there? And that time is the time in which there's a lot of things you could achieve. There's a lot of things that you could accomplish. The challenge for us is that a lot of us allow that time to completely go to waste because we're not thinking about it as time that could actually be used. And there's big industries, for example, without getting too deep into this, for example, you know where hot dogs came from. Hot dogs came from the fact that there were factories and places that they used to slaughter pigs, and that's how they would make sausage and bacon, pork foods. That those of y'all who eat that, where they got it from. And they realized, well, all these scraps that are left, we shouldn't throw these away. Let's see if we can make something out of this. And what they did was they went and made a product out of it that became the hot dog. So the hot dog, if you ever read or heard anybody talk about hot dogs, it's just the leftover scraps after they finish making the quote unquote good stuff with dead pigs. And this is why a lot of people tell you don't eat hot dogs, because it's a bunch of crap that they just piled together and made into something. And there are many industries that do this, like companies that would make wood products. What they did was take the leftover wood after all the wood was used up, and they took the wood chippings and they made that into a product that they could sell. Now people go and buy wood chippings and they do whatever it is they do with it. Don't let me get too deep into explaining that. The whole point is they took the leftovers of things that most people looked at as junk, useless, not needed, and they went and made something useful out of it. The whole point here is what I'm talking about. Instead of it being a physical good, I'm telling you to do this exact same thing with your time. So I remember reading a story about Kobe Bryant. This is back when Kobe was, this is about a good 5-year stretch. Kobe was probably, most people would agree, the best player in basketball. And there was an article, this guy had followed Kobe around for 24 hours or something like that. Not the movie that Spike Lee did, but an article. This guy followed Kobe around for 24 hours just to see what he did. It was a practice day, and then it was a game day, and basically Kobe's whole life was, and this makes sense given we saw how Kobe was and what we knew about Kobe. His whole life was structured around just dominating in basketball. So he had his workout, he would finish his workout, he had a private car take him back to his house, and then he got to go to the practice facility, and then between going to the Staples Center, what it was called back then, and the game, and his house rather, he took a helicopter. Kobe went and actually either owned a helicopter or what's the word they call it? He reserved the helicopter, and he would charter a helicopter so you get back and forth, because the traffic to get to the Staples Center was crazy. So he would take a helicopter to get to the games, and then he would work out on game days. And the way it was set up, now of course we know this is all a dramatic demonstration for the article to make Kobe look like even more of a superhero. He was already seen as a superhero, but to make him look even more like one. But the whole thing was, this whole day was structured down to the minute for him to get his workout in, for his recovery stuff, to get to the game, get to the house, get to the practice, all of this stuff. There was no dead time. He didn't waste a single second. I remember reading an article about Puff Daddy. Many of you know him. this was like when he was in the middle of doing all his music stuff, and he had a bunch of things going on. We know he has a whole lot of things going on business-wise, and his day was the same way. The whole day was structured. He went from this thing to a meeting to an interview, and while he's in the car, he gets in the car, and he had a driver. The driver was already waiting there with the engine running. He hopped in with his assistant, and the assistant's like, all right, we got this coming up in 10 minutes and this. The puff would say, we need to go to the house. He was yell at the driver, go to the house. He'd go to the house, had to do something, change his clothes, come back, do the next thing. And again, we know this is all dramatic demonstration for the article to make him look more like a superhero. I'm not saying, I don't know if every single day he was exactly like that, but the whole point is, even if he was doing it for show, you can still learn from this, is that there was no dead time in his days. And even if he was doing it for show, what if you did it for real? Wouldn't that make you a more effective and more efficient individual? This guy named Dan Kennedy, he's an older marketing guy who I read a lot of his material these days, and I'm in his membership program. He talks about this. Now, this is not a dramatic demonstration for him because he's not some world famous guy. Most of you have never even heard of this guy. And he talks about this, how he would structure out his whole days. And his whole day was laid out and blocked off. He would block off the time of what he was going to spend time writing. He needed to spend time working on, because his main thing was he would do a lot of copywriting and marketing campaigns for people. So he would spend time doing this. He had 15 minutes to do that, 30 minutes to do this, an hour to do that. And he would block off his entire day ahead of the day, before the day even started. So if it's Monday, he block off all of Tuesday, know exactly what he was going to do all day Tuesday. He would not allow any interruptions in his schedule. And this is how he got so much done, because he said people, he had a lot of clients and customers and members in his membership, and they would always ask, Dan, how do you get so much done? In his books, he wrote a book on time management, by the way. It was a really good book that many of you should read if you want to get better at controlling your time. And really, time management is really about self-discipline. It's really what it's really about, but most people won't buy a book on that. But he talked about how he was just very disciplined with his time. And because he was so disciplined with his time, that's how he was able to get so much done. And he explained exactly how he did it, the things he did and the things that he didn't do that anybody could benefit from in his book on that. The whole point for all of you is your dead time. Where's your dead time at in your life? Right now, I'm driving to pick up some food and to go to the grocery store. This could be dead time for me. I could be just, daydreaming, listening to some music, but then I'm not actually using that time to do anything that's going to help move me forward. So instead, whenever I'm about to get in the car, first thing I do is I grab the camera and say, all right, let me record a couple videos while I'm in the car driving. That's exactly what I do. When I drive there, I'm going to record a video. When I'm driving back, I'm recording another video. So now I'm taking this time that was usually time that I wasn't doing anything. Now I'm turning this time into doing something that takes care of something that I needed to get done today anyway. And now I'm getting it done here instead of having to take a more dedicated time to get that thing done. And again, all of us can do this. So where could your dead time be? For many people, your dead time is in between tasks. You finish one thing, you know there's another thing you need to do, but before you get to that next thing, even though you don't have your time blocked off, but you know you need to do the next thing, you're picking up your phone and you're scrolling through Facebook a little bit. You're checking your comments and app replies and who followed you and who liked your picture. And 15 minutes gets sucked up right there. You do that 10 times a day, that's 150 minutes out of your day. 150 minutes comes out to what? 2.5 hours? There's 2.5 hours of your day right there, gone. And there are so many people who talk about how they don't have enough time in the day. There's not enough time in the day for them to get everything done. Well, look how much dead time you're allowing to get used doing things that have no bearing on your future success, but you're allowing your time to get sucked away. That's dead time right there. Dead time is the time that we spend, again, browsing on social media, doing nothing of import, but doing these things because it's available. So this is the challenge. This is why discipline is even a bigger need, a bigger mandate for us these days, simply because there are so many distractions literally at our fingertips all day, every day. Whereas 30 years ago, there weren't as many distractions to even choose from, even if we wanted to. Now we got a bunch of distractions and we're not even trying to be distracted, but it's so available, it's so easy to get distracted. So what I want you to think about today is, where is your dead time and how can you start making sure that dead time is getting used in a way that's actually moving you forward rather than just getting wasted. keeping in mind that time is the most valuable resource you have. So if you're going to waste anything, don't waste time. Waste money before you waste time. So all that, folks, make sure you have left a comment on this video. Let me know the #1 action step you take from today's daily motivation. Make sure you text me as well, so you're in my text community. I send out the Monday motivation every week, every Monday, completely for free. My number is 305-384-6894. WorkOnYourGameUniversity.com. That is where I do all my coaching. All my high-level trainings are at the university. Again, go to WorkOnYourGameUniversity.com. You can get access to, we got different levels in the university that we make available for anyone who is serious about working on their game. You can go to, again, WorkOnYourGameUniversity.com. That link is down in the description. I'm trying to get into Trader Joe's. It's crazy. It's like a bus station in here right now today. I don't know why. I never see so many people trying to get here all at the same time. And make sure you do all the YouTube stuff while you are here, which means subscribe to the YouTube channel, my channel here on YouTube. I think they got my channel shadow banned in some ways, but y'all can still subscribe to the YouTube channel and get the game that I'm giving out regardless. Make sure you hit the notification bell so every video that comes out, you're knowing about it. Like this video and share this with somebody who needs to hear this message, because you are not the only one. And work on your game. Dre all day.